Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a simple question. Are you ready to stop existing and start living? If the answer is yes, buckle up, because what I'm about to share with you is not just a plan, it's a blueprint for transformation. It's a 6-month success journey that will take you from where you are right now to where you've always dreamed of being. Everything begins with purpose. If you don't know where you're going, how can you possibly expect to get there? The first and most vital step in any success journey is defining a crystal clear go-alone that sets your soul on fire. Too many people drift through life without direction, living reactively instead of intentionally. They wake up, go through the motions, follow routines, and then wonder why they feel unfulfilled. The reason is simple. They're not chasing anything that excites them. They're not fueled by purpose. You must begin by asking yourself, what do I really want? Asterisk. Not what your parents want for you, not what society expects, not what sounds impressive. What do you want with every fiber of your being? Get specific. A vague goal leads to vague results. I want to be successful means nothing. But I want to build a business that earns 6 figures in the next year doing what I love, gives your mind and body something tangible to work toward. The brain loves clarity. It needs a target to lock onto. Once you've defined your goal, you need to infuse it with desire, not just interest, not casual curiosity. We're talking about white-hot, obsessive hunger for that goal. The kind of desire that wakes you up early and keeps you up late. That kind of desire gives you energy when the world feels heavy. When you're deeply connected to your goal, obstacles lose their power. Rejections sting less. Delays frustrate less. The mission pulls you forward. Desire turns a wish into a command. Most people wish for better lives. They hope for success. They daydream about it, but they never move. That's because wishing lacks commitment. Desire, real desire, demands action. When you truly want something, you'll rearrange your entire life to pursue it. You'll stop wasting time on distractions, and you'll start aligning every choice with your vision. You won't need motivation. You'll have purpose. And purpose is stronger than motivation. Writing your goal down is essential. It takes the abstract and makes it real. Put it on paper. Read it every morning and every night. Feel it, see it, believe it. The repetition creates emotional attachment, and emotion creates movement. Your subconscious mind begins to accept the goal as reality, and your actions start to align accordingly. This isn't magic, it's psychology. The clearer and more emotionally charged your goal is, the more you'll notice opportunities, the more you'll act with intention, and the more momentum you'll build. Having a purpose also gives meaning to your pain. Challenges are inevitable, but when you know why you're suffering, it becomes bearable. It even becomes worth it. Pain without purpose is torment. Pain in pursuit of a dream, that's growth, that's transformation. That's the kind of pain that refines you into someone capable of holding the success you're after. Every setback becomes a test. Every test becomes fuel, and every small win along the way starts to feel like progress instead of just survival. Defining your purpose and locking into your desire changes how you move through the world. You become more focused, more disciplined, and more resilient. You stop chasing everything and start building something. Belief is the invisible force behind every extraordinary achievement. Without belief, even the best strategies fall flat. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how talented, or how well connected. If you don't believe in yourself, you'll hesitate, second guess, and eventually quit. Belief is the gateway. It's the switch that flips potential into reality. And the most powerful form of belief is the belief that you can and will become the person worthy of the dream you hold. Most people never reach their full potential because deep down, they don't truly think they're capable. They might set goals, they might make plans, but there's a voice in the back of their mind whispering doubt. Who are you to think you can do this? That voice isn't truth, it's conditioning. It's the echo of past failures, toxic environments, criticism, fear, and self-imposed limits, and that voice only has power if you listen. The key is to silence it by rewriting the script in your mind. This begins with visualization. See the life you want, picture it so clearly and vividly that it feels real. Walk through your dream home in your mind, hear the applause at your event. Feel the warmth of that financial freedom, that impact, that legacy. Visualization isn't just daydreaming, it's mental training. Olympic athletes do it. Top performers do it. The mind doesn't distinguish between imagination and reality. The more you visualize success, the more your brain begins to accept it as familiar, as possible, as yours. Next, affirm it. Speak your goals out loud, not just once, but every day. Tell yourself who you are becoming. Words shape identity. Repetition of powerful, positive affirmations begins to override the old programming. I am capable. I am worthy. I am unstoppable. These aren't cliches, they're commands. They redirect your internal narrative. When you repeat something often enough with conviction, it becomes your default belief, and belief determines behavior. Faith in yourself must be backed by evidence. Start keeping promises to yourself, no matter how small. When you say you'll wake up early, do it. When you set a goal to work, follow through. Every time you take action that aligns with your future self, you build internal trust. That trust turns into confidence. That confidence feeds belief. And when you believe in yourself, you stop waiting for permission and start making moves like you belong at the top. Self-belief also means detaching from other people's opinions. You can't measure your worth through someone else's lens. Most people project their own fears onto others. If they doubt you, it says more about their limitations than your capabilities. You've got to stop shrinking to fit into the expectations of people who've never dared to dream big. When you believe in yourself, you stop needing external validation because your internal compass becomes stronger than any outside noise. You will be tested. You will fail. But belief doesn't mean expecting perfection. It means knowing you'll keep going regardless. It's the anchor that holds steady through every storm. Belief is what keeps you moving when results haven't shown up yet. When your bank account doesn't reflect your vision. When your effort isn't being recognized. When progress feels slow, belief is what keeps you grinding, trusting that what you've planted will eventually grow. In today's world, information is everywhere. It's free, it's abundant, and it's coming at us from every direction. But information alone doesn't change lives. What creates real, measurable progress is specialized knowledge. The kind of knowledge that's specific, relevant, and immediately applicable to the goal you're chasing. While most people are drowning in a sea of random facts, those who rise to the top are laser-focused on acquiring the right knowledge, the kind that gives them an edge in their chosen field or mission. General education can give you a foundation, but it won't separate you. It won't make you unstoppable. To do that, you need to dive deep. You need to become a student of your craft. Whether you want to start a business, become a world-class speaker, dominate a market, or build wealth, you have to understand exactly what drives results in that area. Not in theory, but in practice. This means studying the systems, the processes, the tools, the language, and the mindset required to win. You don't need a PhD, you need precision. Study the top performers in your field. Break down what they do, how they do it, and why it works. Read their books, watch their interviews. Take their courses if they offer them. And more importantly, apply what you learn immediately. Knowledge without action is just mental clutter. Real growth comes from using what you've learned in the real world, adjusting through feedback, and refining as you go. Self-education is no longer optional, it's survival. The speed at which industries are evolving means that if you're not learning, you're falling behind. The people who will thrive in the next 5 to 10 years aren't the ones with the fanciest degrees. They're the ones who made learning a lifestyle. They turned curiosity into a competitive advantage. They're reading, watching, listening, asking, practicing every single day. They don't wait for someone to teach them, they go get what they need. Specialized knowledge also builds confidence. When you understand your subject deeply, you speak with authority. You move differently. You start solving problems instead of avoiding them. People begin to notice. Opportunities start to find you. The world responds to competence. The better you get at your thing, whatever that is, the more valuable you become. And value attracts everything. Income, influence, impact. You can't shortcut this. You can't fake it. You have to be willing to dive into the boring parts, the technical parts, the parts no one wants to deal with. That's where you separate yourself. The majority quit when things get complex. The few who press forward become the experts, the leaders, the ones who get paid to think, create, and lead. The best part? You don't need to learn everything at once. You just need to commit to learning something useful every single day. Even 30 minutes of intentional study a day adds up to hundreds of hours over 6 months. Action is the great separator. It's the line that divides those who dream from those who do. No matter how clear your vision is, how strong your belief, or how much knowledge you've gained, none of it matters until you move. Action is the engine that turns ideas into outcomes. Too many people get stuck in planning mode, waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect feeling, the perfect conditions. But success doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards movement. There will never be a perfect time. The stars won't align, fear won't disappear, and motivation won't always show up. The truth is, the more you wait, the harder it gets. Momentum is built through doing, not thinking. One small step forward creates energy. That energy builds confidence. Confidence leads to more action. And before you know it, you're creating a rhythm that becomes unstoppable. But it all begins with the courage to take the first step, even when it's messy, even when it's uncertain. Action doesn't have to be big to be powerful. It just has to be consistent. The compound effect of daily action is one of the most underrated forces in the world. A small decision repeated over time creates exponential results. Making one sales call a day turns into 30 calls a month. Writing for an hour a day turns into a full book in 3 months. Recording one video a week turns into a strong personal brand in half a year. The key is to show up no matter what, to move forward regardless of mood, obstacles, or circumstances. Procrastination is the enemy of greatness. It hides behind excuses like, I'm not ready, or I need to research more, or I'll start next week. But every day you delay is a day you stay the same. Action beats anxiety. When you're in motion, you don't have time to overthink. You're focused, present, and engaged. You're solving problems instead of imagining them. And you begin to realize that most of the fear you felt was just a lack of movement. Taking action also creates feedback. You start learning faster. You see what works, what doesn't, where you need to adjust. That kind of real-time education is priceless. It's the difference between theory and mastery. You stop guessing and start improving. You become more effective, more efficient, and more in control of your results. Every failure becomes data. Every mistake becomes a lesson. And every small win becomes fuel. You also start to develop a reputation with yourself and others. People begin to associate you with results. You build a sense of identity around being someone who gets things done. That identity creates pressure in the best way. It pushes you to keep going, to keep building, to stay aligned with your actions. It becomes harder to quit because quitting would contradict who you now believe yourself to be. The most successful people aren't the smartest, they're the most consistent. They keep showing up, they keep moving forward, they execute when it's uncomfortable. They understand that nothing happens until something happens, and that something always starts with them. No one reaches greatness alone. Every high achiever, every visionary, every game changer has had a circle, a team, a tribe, a network that fueled their rise. Success isn't just about what you know or what you do. It's about who you surround yourself with. The energy, mindset, and standards of the people closest to you will shape your identity, influence your decisions, and either accelerate or suffocate your growth. That's why building a strong circle of mastermind of aligned, driven individuals is non-negotiable. The people around you either pull you forward or hold you back. They either speak life into your vision or drain the energy out of your ambition. You need people who get it, who understand the grind, who respect the process, and who are chasing their own version of excellence. Being around individuals who are committed to their goals creates a powerful environment of accountability and inspiration. Their discipline sharpens yours. Their wins remind you of what's possible. Their focus keeps you aligned. But this isn't about finding cheerleaders who always agree with you. This is about finding challengers, people who will call you out, raise your standards, and refuse to let you settle. The right circle doesn't coddle your comfort zone. They confront your excuses. They don't let you coast when they know you're capable of more. That friction, that push, is part of what shapes you into a stronger, sharper version of yourself. Building that kind of environment starts with intention. You have to audit your current circle. Look at the people you spend the most time with. Are they growing? Are they learning? Are they taking action? Or are they stuck in cycles of blame, gossip, and stagnation? You can't fly if you're chained to anchors. Sometimes leveling up your life means letting go of certain relationships not out of hate, but out of necessity. Growth requires space. It requires alignment. Once you create that space, you need to fill it with people who match or exceed your hunger. That might mean reaching out to mentors, joining mastermind groups, attending workshops, or connecting with people online who inspire you. The goal is to constantly be in rooms where you feel challenged, where you're not the smartest or most successful person there. That's how you stretch. That's how you evolve. The right circle also helps you weather the storm. When you're in the trenches, when things aren't going as planned, when your motivation dips, your environment steps in, they remind you of your why. They give you perspective. They show you that setbacks are part of the process. That kind of support is priceless. It keeps you grounded when your emotions want to take over. It keeps you focused when distractions creep in. Being surrounded by winners also sharpens your identity. You start to see yourself differently. You start to hold yourself to higher standards because the people around you are doing the same. You stop tolerating mediocrity in your habits, in your work, and in your mindset. You begin to expect excellence and not just from others, but from yourself. That shift in identity becomes the foundation for lasting transformation.